guys, thanks for watching. So we're the Repot. We're a new store and we're run by myself. My name's Ty. I run Repot the Damn Thing on Instagram, and this is my partner.
Hi, I'm Amber and I run Node Daddy.
And we're gonna make some moss poles with you guys.
What do we need?
What do we need? We need this thing, which we got from a box store. And really it's just kind of wire mesh netting that you put in and around your rabbit cages and around your tomatoes, but we're going to use it to build the basis of our poles. So with this, you're going to be stuffing it with moistened sphagnum moss. You want to make sure that it is moist because it is going to expand, and that's going to help your aerial roots stick to your pole. Then you need something to cut with, wire cutter, scissors, depending on your material. And then you need zip ties, which you can get for $1 also at the box store, to secure this once you're done building it.
Right, so I have no idea how to make the moss post. So while Ty cuts the pole, I am also going to do a little question and answer, just because I feel like a lot of people don't really know a lot about us, and
She don't ever get in my videos.
And I want people to be able to get to know us just a little bit more. So the first question that I have for you, which will be plant related, which
Before you ask me,
yeah,
just twist this until you get it to the desired size that you want, and then because it is a grid, it's easy to just cut it all the way up. Okay.
okay.
So that's what I'm doing.
Okay, so my first question for you will be, what was your first plant? Do you remember?
I don't remember. Back in college, I lived with my best friend in an apartment, and I worked at a hospital with hundreds of really great volunteers. One of the volunteers that worked in the gift shop, she had plants that she couldn't take care of as she was going through some stuff. So she donated them to me. And honestly, I want to say it was probably 2012 or 2013. And it was before I really knew, nomenclature or botanical names of things. And also I was just starting, so they ultimately died.
What's your favorite plant?
I can't remember what it was. My favorite plant? So my favorite species of plant is gonna be philodendron. I love, really all the aroids. I love all the aroids. It's so neat, depending on where they're growing from naturally, to see the different leaf patterns and shapes and colors. What's yours?
I don't know. What do I have the most of? Alocasia?
You have a lot of alocasia.
I have a lot of alocasia, so probably will be alocasia. But my favorite plant of all time is anything that I'm able to keep alive. Because we've had, what are those plants? Do they count the polka dot plants?
Oh my god.
So we had polka dot plants in the house and we kept buying them,
They're finicky bitches.
yeah, but they didn't live long. I'm not sure if they weren't getting enough light or like what happened, but we'll insert a clip where we now have, are those polka dots down there? Okay, so we have like a small garden with like elephant ears down behind us, and they're like thriving. They are thriving down there. So yeah, I guess I love to hate them because we still own them and they're thriving down there. I guess we just needed to find the right location to be able to put them.
It's a shady little back garden.
Yeah, and it's really humid here. For anybody that doesn't know, we're in Georgia. I have a sweat claw because I'm always sweating. don't mind me. But it's also really humid here where we live. And this is the, which way is this?
South.
This is the south.
So this is southern exposure. If you were to put your plants inside your house through a window, you can check your compass on your phones for sure.
Right. So it's still kind of shady back here, but this is still the most light that comes in. But where the polka dot plants are down there, it's kind of shaded because of the trees, but they still get a lot of light depending on where the sun is. But yeah, they're my love to hate plant.
Do you want to cut some while I stuff?
Sure. She stuffs.
So I'm just stuffing the sphagnum moss inside of this net that we've created. You can see the tighter that you pack it, it's going to be less likely to be falling out. It's going to be more secure too. So as you work, I kind of put a base layer down in the first, maybe 6 to 8 inches that I'm working on. And then as I close it up with the zip ties, you'll see me restuffing just to make sure that it's really secure.
Okay, before I cut this, is this, okay. Oh, right. I'm getting to know how to do this as well, you guys.
And you want to make sure that you leave enough room too for it to overwrap so that you can secure it.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
If you could have one plant, cost wasn't an option, availability wasn't an option, what would you get?
Do you mean like a rare plant?
Pause.
But what is rare?
Yeah, so I don't like the term rare. I'm actually going to do probably a podcast about the linguistics of botany and horticulture. But the term rare just automatically raises the hype of the plant. And if you really think about what the commodification of capitalism is and how it pertains to, especially right now during quarantine where everybody's going houseplant crazy, they're not rare, guys. Some plants, yes, are rare. Spiritus Sancti and Obliqua, some sort of like super rare, hard to find, variegated plant that you don't find in nature naturally that often or that hasn't been discovered as much. I just usually use other terms. I'll try to say uncommon or harder to find plants. But if you type in rare plant on eBay, that's going to give you the good listings, right? So,
Right.
Just a side note.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. And that's why I said what I said. I said what I said. But I don't know. Like, I like greenery, personally. I like textured plants, which is probably one of the reasons why I gear towards alocasias, because I like the texture of the plant. I like the way the plant feels. I like the way the plant looks. But I don't know. Like, I can have a house full of pothos and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like, if I can we can make 1 million moss poles and have 1 million pothos plants, that's the plant that I want. If I can have any plant, it would totally be pothos. Just because.
Pothos.
Yeah, just because it's a pretty plant. And like,
And they're so giving.
Forgive me, you guys, because I don't know everything. What's the word I'm looking for? The pattern on the plant.
Like the coloration?
Yeah.
Or the variation?
Yeah. So the variation of the plant, like, it can change. And like, that's why I like them so much. Like, what's this plant back here? I'm gonna go grab it so I can show it to you.
A neon.
Nope, not the neon.
Which one? A marble queen.
This. So, this right here is a great freaking plant.
We also have them everywhere.
We do have them everywhere, which is why I think I love them so much. Very hard to kill plants.
It's really interesting that,
I was going to.
welcome back.
What were you
It's
gonna
really
say?
interesting that pothos are called pothos, commonly. Everybody can look at a marble queen or a neon, and I feel like across the board you're gonna get, what is this? It's a pothos. They're actually not pothos. They're epiprimnoids. Epipremium. But most people just say pothos.
Okay. I'm finished cut.
I was inspired by a story that a mutual friend of mine had put on their Instagram, and I'll tag her. I can't remember her full name right now, but she put on her story, if your ex was a plant, what plant would it be? So if your ex was a plant, Amber, what plant would it be?
Something poisonous. What's a nice poisonous plant?
So
She
they're
wouldn't be a prickly pear.
they're extremely toxic. I can't remember the botanical name, but there's a plant that originates, I think, in maybe a South American country. I can't remember, but its common name is the suicide plant. So if you touch it and it enters, into your bloodstream, into your body, they call it a suicide plant because apparently the pain gets to be so bad that so many people that are admitted for this specific toxicity actually do end up committing suicide.
Oh, well, I wouldn't want
Maybe not that far, but it would be toxic, right?
Yeah, but that's probably the plant that I would definitely probably choose. Just what would you pick?
Well, my first thought was like prickly pear cactus because they're dicks. But they also are spineless, so that doesn't work as well. I don't know. Like a weed. A freaking weed. Something that's invasive and refuses to leave and ruins all the good shit at your house. That's what my ex would be.
Same.
Literally.
Same. So, let me think. How can they get to know us? What are some other questions?
When's your birthday?
I am an Aquarius, and my birthday is January 27th.
An Aquarius. I love you.
Okay, Ty. Let everybody know when is your birthday.
Everyone knows I'm a Cancer. I just had my
Exactly.
birthday.
Such
You talk to me, I'll cry.
Tyler cries for plants. Tyler cries when she is happy. Tyler cries when she is sad.
Tyler cries all the damn time. Happy YouTube video, a stupid ad that I saw on Facebook. Yeah, I'm a
Tyler
crier.
cries during podcasts
I do that.
daily. No,
Maybe not daily.
not daily.
I cry a couple times a week. I think it's good for you.
It is.
I'm not crying because I'm necessarily sad or upset about anything. I just think that sometimes you need a good cry.
I agree. Okay.
So, tighter and more.
You think?
You want it to be like...
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So where do I need to put this?
And once you get it going, it'll be easier. So you just want to make sure that you have it going through all sides, or both sides of your... So just tighten it more. And then you'll put one on the end too to help, and then stuff some more on the bottom. You see, mine's kind of coming out right here, but it's stuffed in there pretty well.
Okay. Cool. Any other questions that you can think of? Anything you want to talk about, discuss today?
Well, there was 2 new species of Monstera discovered. Mick has some some photos. Of course, he was there when they were finding him, but he's got a few photos on his Instagram, and I'll put a link in here too so that you can go look at it. But y'all should be excited. Like, it's not just about buying popular plants because they look cool, or because everybody has them, or because, I don't know. But y'all should be excited. Like, it's not every single day that new plant species are discovered. And I want to say there's only like 10%, some 10% or even less of like Central American rainforests that have been medicinally discovered. It's not the word I'm looking for, but
I understand.
There's a lot of holistic and botanical medicines that we don't even know about, partly because the rainforests are being destroyed, but that's an issue for a podcast there. But it is really exciting. I remember something else cool. There was a Spiritus Sancti that Enid at NSE Tropicals had, unfortunately, it had died. And she had posted that she, was searching for another one. She'd love to have one. Of course, everybody wants one. But she knows what she's doing and how to take care of it, and she's doing it to preserve its life form, not necessarily to sell it. She doesn't sell, I don't think, from these big Spiritus Sanctis. But she had made a post, and long story short, somebody that she had actually mailed a Spiritus Sancti to, a friend of hers, had reached back out, and it was a juvenile when she had sent it, I believe, from her original plant. And they reached out and asked if she wanted it back, which was really, really cool.
That is really cool.
Like, when you think about community and meeting all these people that otherwise you might not have ever professionally met, because we're all coming from different walks and different backgrounds. But what ties us together is our love for plants, right? So whether you're a new plant queen and all you have is, your locally found big box store stuff, that doesn't mean that your journey isn't as important as people with 60,000 followers and super expensive plants, and, huge specimens. But we all have to start somewhere.
Right, and that also takes me back to, like, whenever you're talking about community, that's one of the reasons why I feel like it's important as far as, like, plants go, because I want to be able to make plants more accessible to people, where if the plant isn't in their region, or we all know how, like, the cost of plants, like, how high they can get. And I really want to be able to create a space and, like, create things and to be able to grow things and definitely make them accessible to people.
Yeah.
And even not even just the plants themselves, but I feel like some of us, we don't know anything about plants. So I feel like, especially, just speaking for myself, or like where I'm from, a lot of people from where I'm from, we garden and, like, we have farms and we do all of that, but, like, we don't know the science behind the plants. And that's one thing that I want to be able to make accessible.
Yeah. Shared knowledge. Like,
oh my gosh, just like, for instance, I'm sorry to cut you off, no. But for instance, my cousin, he came over with his wife and their kids recently. And
social distancing. We had masks on.
We all had on masks, but they came over because I haven't been able to, like, be around my family. I'm not from Georgia, so I haven't been able to be around my family, but he also lives in Georgia. But we were all able to come here and social distance with one another. But the point is that his daughter
How old is she? Like,
Uh,
she's a teenager, maybe?
she's a teenager.
14, 15.
Maybe
like
about 14, 15 years old. But she came outside and like she saw all the plants, and then she saw the greenhouse, and we saw how excited she was. And so we allowed her to just go into the greenhouse and pick out plants.
Well,
And
I didn't tell her what she was doing, so I took her into the greenhouse.
Yeah.
I was like, let me just give you a little tour. And I mean little, it's not, you know, a 16-acre greenhouse by any means. But there was a couple of plants that she just automatically gravitated to when we were in there. And everything that she was kind of like, whoa, what is that? Or, oh, that looks so cool. I literally was grabbing them and putting them in a box. And then she looked at me and she was like, what are you doing? On? Yeah, and I was like, I'm giving them to you. Like, you like them. You have to start somewhere. Like, and you're going to she might kill them, you know?
Yeah.
I've killed plenty of plants.
Yeah. But the cool part about that is that she went to like science camp, where they talked about and I guess researched about plants and things like that. And she went in, I want to say, maybe it was Puerto Rico?
I think it might have been.
It was somewhere. But she traveled and she did summer camp last year, where she was able to like learn about all these different plants or whatever. But I feel like her coming here, we were able to make the plants accessible to her. And apparently she really loves plants. And it got to the point where the next morning, my cousin, he texted me and he was like, hey,
help.
He was like, help. Please call her or text her and like tell her about, you know, more about the care of the plants. Because it was late at night when she got the plants. I knew that she had taken a box of plants home, but I didn't see which plants because that was all Ty. But she told me about which plants she had, and then she had questions about where she should place them. She sent us pictures of where she put them. She was asking us about a watering schedule.
And I love that.
Yeah, we love that.
Like so I'm a hobbyist, right? And we're making this into our baby, our personal business. But I don't claim to know everything. Right. And every single day you get up and you should be learning. You should be learning all day, every single day. Because how else are you going to grow? Metaphorically and physically, right? So when people reach out to me and they're like, you know, on Instagram, they'll send me a video and it'll be, you know, like a plant that's struggling, or it'll be some sort of pest that they noticed on their plant. I love that. Like, if I don't know all the answers, I'm going to go on Google and I'm going to research this. I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to respond to your answer, because I appreciate the fact that you think that I could help you with something, right? And we all have to have help. Like, every single person needs help.
Right. But like, that's the type of space and community building that I would love to have. I hope you guys can still hear us.
Yeah, we're outside.
The neighbors on our backside are starting to mow their lawn. But yeah, I love that type of thing. I want to be able to do that more. I want to be able to make things more accessible. I want to make these more uncommon plants more accessible to people.
And get rid of some like stigma.
Right. I agree. Yeah.
And even myself, like, I have personal biases, right? We all do. And it's irritating sometimes when you like see people and they're buying plants because part of this kind of craze right now, and maybe they don't even know what the plant is, or, you know how to take care of the plant. And it was kind of irritating me at first. I'm like, don't we all do that? Like, the very first plant that you bought, there's a pretty good chance you didn't know how to take care of it.
Yeah.
Which is why so many plants die.
Right.
But I just want people to like really care about the plant, not as much caring about how the plant looks to other people, you know?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. Especially during this like quarantine right now, and I feel like
quarantine.
I feel like a lot of people are just they're buying it just to have it. And then there are also those people, because I know we've probably all seen them, at least I have, because I'm now in a lot of Facebook groups, that Ty has already been in, but there's so much tea going around that I had to join myself just so I can be able to read it. But like, there are people who are on these pages or on these groups, and they buy these plants, they chop these plants up as soon as they get them, and then they go right back out.
Or they even
sell them.
No, they sell them before they even have them.
Yeah.
Like they're
like
making
pre-orders.
listings. Yeah, or I don't know, it makes me feel really weird. Like, to an extent, if you're selling plants, right, it's a business. You have to turn a profit. That's how you put food on your own table. That's how we put food on our table. But we also put a lot of care and love and time and attention into plants. And like, we'll have plants, like we have plants now, you know, we're importing plants, but we're not selling them yet. We want them to grow. We want them to not be rehabs when people get them. And also, I like to see the growth myself. And how am I going to sell a plant that I've never even taken care of? Like, that's another thing, going back to the shared knowledge. I don't want to just flip a plant and then when my customer, because that's what you are, you're a customer. You're paying for a service, right, or a product. I don't want anybody to reach out. Oh, I was like, something's on me.
Sorry.
I don't want anybody to reach out and say, hey, you know, I unboxed today and the plant was totally yellow and the roots look like shit, and how do I take care of this and how do I revive it? And a lot of times they're really understanding, like, I know that it went through shipping, you know, it's not the fault of the seller or whatever. A lot of customers are super understanding. Super understanding. But like, how I just ethically and morally, I can't sell something without truly knowing how to take care of it myself, because then I assume that customers are going to be coming to me for advice, and I want to be able to have real life experiences and opinions about things than tried and tested stuff. Like, if I killed my alocasia, but then I just turn around and flip the exact same one, when somebody asks me, hey, how do I do this? Or hey, why does it look like this? I'm going to be lying to them or just ignoring them,
right,
which is not how customer service goes.
Stuffing the end of my pole.
Stuff it, girl. How'd you beat me?
Because you were
Yours
talking.
is a little bigger than mine too, though. Mine's tighter than yours.
No, I think I cut my thing is cut a little bit bigger.
That's what I'm saying. Mine's a little smaller, and I think. I mean,
You like touching my pole?
y'all see what I have to deal with?
So now what? Do I just cut this?
Yep.
Okay.
Then we're actually going to have a part 2 to this, where we're installing some of these on our philodendrons and aeroids and climbing type of species.
Right. So if you guys have made it this far in the video,
Which you better have.
with all of our ramblings and everything, leave us some questions. Whether it's get to know me questions, or questions about the moss pole, or questions about plants generally, so then we can have things to answer and talk about in the next video.
Yeah, because it's all about community and interaction, right?
Right, and we like doing this. We honestly didn't know what questions to ask, and I feel like we didn't really get off topic, because y'all are still getting to know us through us talking, but we didn't really answer, I don't know what people really want to know. You know, when we didn't Google anything before we start the video, we're just like, hey, we're making moss poles today and we're going to talk. So, yeah, just ask questions.
It's not coming out the other side now.
We'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Within reason, right?
Within reason, yes.
I don't feel like I should have to say that, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what people are going to ask. Okay, how does my pole look? I think it looks alright. This is my first moss pole ever. We've done like do we have any out here?
Mm-mm.
I don't see any, but we've done just the regular bamboo sticks.
I put this in there backwards.
And then we've bought moss poles before, but we've never actually made our own. But this is actually kind of fun, so I think we should do this more.
And also, it encourages growth, right? We want our plants to grow up, to grow big, if that's the way that in nature they grow.
Right, I agree. So I'm gonna bring this closer, just so then you guys can see what is going on.
We had just enough sphagnum.
Yeah, we did. We did great. You did great.
You did great. Hey, welcome back to my podcast. I'm by myself with my ghost.
She's lying in behind the camera. So this is the moss pole. And this is what it looks like. And then these are the zip ties in the back. So yeah. That's the pole.
And you do want to make sure that you're building your pole not the same size as your plant, right? So earlier, Amber, I was debating if we were going to cut them because a bunch of these poles are going to be for some more of our juvenile plants. But instead of just cutting it, why not encourage it to just keep on growing? And then we know that these poles are probably going to last for the next year and a half without having to build new ones for them.
All right. So, I have a question that's not plant related that I think that people might want to know. And I think it's a question that's within reason. How long have you and No Daddy been dating?
First of all, why are you talking about yourself in third person?
Because now I'm the interviewer.
Okay. So since when? Since 2015. We met in 2015. I mean, y'all didn't ask for this, but we are one of those online couples, right? So there was an app that was for like women who love women. It was called the Her app. I don't know if it still exists anymore.
I didn't know she was going to tell you all that, but yes.
So there is much debate about who started our interaction first, right?
She did.
So Amber went to my profile, I swear I remember this, and liked a few of my pictures. I remember going back to her profile and liking her photos, and then I messaged her and I was like, hey, I really love your style.
No.
I think that was the first message I ever sent.
Listen, no, that's not what happened. What happened was she came to my profile. She liked some
Not first.
Yes, she liked some of my pictures.
She just doesn't want to admit she was attracted to me first.
No, and then I went back to her page because I was like, because it gives notifications when people like heart your pictures and stuff. So she hearted mine.
Which is how I found you.
So then I went back to her page, and then I hearted some of hers, and then after that, it was like hours later, she came back. And she was like, she messaged me first.
No, I messaged you first, but I did not go to your profile
She had the first interactions. And then she messaged me and she was like, I like your style.
I said, hey, I really like your style.
Yeah. So then after that, we just started talking. And then the rest is history. And then here we are with our dog, Marley, and all of the fish tanks and a million plants.
Not quite a million, but
A
eventually
lot.
it will be a million. Yeah. So we have a greenhouse, right? And then we just found some really good deals on some industrial shelves from like a restaurant, actually, a local restaurant. And they were just going to trash them, and somebody ended up getting them, and then they were going to sell them. They just wanted them to get out of their yard. So we got these industrial sized,
like huge shelves, like
bigger
than 6 feet wide, maybe.
Yeah, maybe about 6 feet wide and
6.5 feet tall, 7 feet tall.
Like taller than we are. And I mean, we gave them like, I think it ended up being close to $15 a pop for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking at them now. I've got one back here at the greenhouse that we're growing all of our string of things on, and good like outdoor type of plants that like the sunlight to touch the top of their pots. And then we're actually building the garage grow room.
Right. So now that she has finally finished her pole, I do have to tell you that the battery is dying. So we're gonna have to do an outro now. But again, send us any questions that you guys may have.
Yeah.
We'll love to answer any type of questions in the next video if it's reasonable. And we'll be back tomorrow for another video and a part 2 about how to use steak. That's what it is, right?
This is broken.
How do you steak here? How do you steak?
They're all broken.
Oh no, I already cut these. I'm sorry.
Oh.
So we'll go ahead and steak these right here in the next video, and we'll show you guys how we do it. And yeah, I hope everybody has a great day, a joyous day. Stay out of the heat.
Yeah.
I'm going back in the house because
Time for some water.
the heat is not good for me. Yeah. Do you have anything to say before we leave?
I'm really grateful for those of you that are watching this, whether you watch the whole thing or you skim through or you already know how to make a damn moss pole. You just wanted to show your support and like this. I really appreciate that. I think we both met some of the coolest, most kind people through Plantstagram. I guess that's what people call it now. And I'm just really grateful to have this group of people who want to learn and want to know more about plants and want to cultivate them, to grow them and for their mental health. We didn't really talk on that much, but we're gonna. That's kind of the focus on the next video as we're assembling these into our pots. So make sure you watch out for that. And thanks for tuning in.
And build a pole, not a strip pole, a moss pole.
I mean, if you want to build a strip pole too, we support you.
We do.
Get your money, girl.
And send notes.
Person, get your money. And send notes, yeah. Don't
notes.
forget to send notes and repot the damn thing. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like, and we'll see you guys next time.
Good job.